Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you all had wonderful holidays with your family or friends. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a wonderful week so far. I have been thoroughly enjoying myself because I finally got a bit of free time during this winter break to finally return to my art. I know it has been a while. I also wanted to thank you for your lovely comments on my last video. Talking to you about what has been going on in my life, my fears and expectations regarding my art has really helped me and continues to give me the strength and motivation to keep on doing art. So today I have this little Christmas inspired painting to show you. I kept most of the footage in real time to show you the actual painting process. I started by preparing the sketch which I've made on the last day of work before Christmas, using washi tape to cover the edges. Then I started to wet the entire paper with clear water to then use a wet and wet technique to build the first layer of paint. Now, Christmas. Christmas is always the most magical time of the year for children. But for me, it has been a bit of a double-edged sword. I always loved this time of the year. The Christmas movies, baking Christmas cookies with my family, watching the world transform for one moment into a magical winter wonderland. Christmas time always felt different from the rest of the year. But at the same time, I also dreaded Christmas. I grew up more on the lower spectrum of society, so to speak. We didn't have much money growing up, and around Christmas, I would hear the other kids in my class wish for a lot of expensive presents. I knew most of those were out of reach for me, but as a kid, you never stop dreaming, right? So I was always setting myself up for disappointment. I'm still grateful to my single mom to even organize a lovely, albeit small Christmas celebration for me and my little sister every year. But it still stings that I never had the movie-like, picture-perfect Christmas. At one time in our lives, our situation got so bad that we didn't even celebrate Christmas at all. No tree, no presents, not even our family gathering. It was rather depressing for me, and I don't know how it was for my mom or my sister, because we never really talked about that part of our lives. Thankfully, in the last couple of years, our situation has gotten much better. We started to celebrate Christmas again, which I'm so happy about. Now I let the first layer dry completely and then started to paint the next layer with more saturated watercolors. I wanted a more intense or high contrast look with the lights of the Christmas decorations on the tree in the background and the star. I tried to paint rather loosely and not to worry about going over the edges or having it look too messy. I have learned that the more free I am with my painting, the more fun I have and the better it looks in the end. Also, you can always clean up the edges with colored pencils, markers or gouache paints, and most people wouldn't even notice. For the tree in the background, I didn't worry about painting over where I sketched the Christmas decorations, because later I will paint over it with opaque glitter paint. This really helped me to make the tree look more realistic and to just let the brush do the work. If I would sketch out every leaf or pine needle individually, I'd probably go crazy and the painting wouldn't look better for it. And this part of the painting, this loose painting and just letting the brush flow, was actually so much fun. Now, this year's Christmas was rather special to me and my family. I want to start off by saying that we had a very lovely family gathering and it was a lot of fun. But actually, I was really worried about this year's Christmas in the beginning. Last year, unfortunately, my uncle died right around Christmas. So we didn't celebrate at all, of course. But it also meant that this year was going to be the first Christmas after my uncle's death. I was really worried about my mum, who mourned her only brother, her younger sibling, and my grandma, who mourned her youngest child and only son. No mother should ever go through the heartbreak of seeing one's own child die. I tried my best to support my family in every way possible. So this year I prepared most of the food. It was a big task to cook for my entire family, but thankfully everything went well. Although the holidays began a bit bleak, because of course we did talk about my uncle's death and mourned him, but then we actually started to enjoy the festivities, and my grandma was having a good time, I think. I hope. Although it was a lot of stress on my part to take care of so much, it was an honor for me, and seeing my family happy was the best Christmas present I could ever hope for this year. For the gold paint, I wanted to give Schmincke Aqua Bronze another try. In my haul video where I first tried it, it was an epic fail. I didn't get the ratio of pigment to water right, so this time I tried to follow your helpful comments on that video and use less water and more pigment in a more one-on-one ratio. I gotta say, it was rather hard to get the pigment to mix with the water, and it didn't yield a clean texture and still had some clumps in it. I don't know how to make this pigment work, to be honest. I have to admit that the shimmer effect is beautiful indeed, and the paint is completely opaque if you mix it like that. The final painting really glittered like a Christmas tree after it was done, which was exactly what I wanted. It does make a big mess though. My entire workspace was somehow full of fine dust glitter, despite me being extremely careful. For the bow, I mixed the Aqua Bronze gold pigment with white gouache and quinacridone coral watercolors to yield this shimmery gold pink opaque color, which looks so lovely. For the final part of this painting, I used colored pencils and a black liner to add definition to some parts of the painting, like the eyes, and clean up some lines. I love giving my paintings these final touches. Seeing my vision finally come together is so satisfying to watch. It took me a while to figure out which pencils and liners work best with watercolors, because some you can't use before painting because they aren't waterproof, and some won't go over the paint for whatever reason. Finding the right art supplies can be tedious. I usually watch other watercolor artists I look up to and try to see what they are using, and then try those materials out for myself. That can also be a hit or miss, but only through trial and error you can find these things out. Well, I really do hope all of you had a wonderful Christmas and that you continue to enjoy the holidays or winter break. I'm so pleased that my family and me had a great time this year, considering the circumstances. I'm also glad that I could finally find some time to paint again, because I do need art to cope with all the stress in my life. I'm really happy with how this 2-page Christmas spread in my sketchbook turned out. It's definitely not the best or most refined of my artworks, but it was a quick and loose painting that I enjoyed painting a lot. I'm still trying to overcome my fear of ruining my sketchbooks with terrible art, so this definitely helps me a lot. As long as I had fun painting it, the art definitely is not bad. I hope you all continue to join me on my art journey. Thanks for being here with me. I always enjoy reading your lovely comments. I hope you like this video, and I hope to see you in the next video again. Bye!